7 Secrets of the Goddess by Devdutt Pattanaik. Chapter 4. Durga's Secret. Everyone lives on the edge in fear. Part 1. Offerings to Shiva and Vishnu include food, flowers, leaves, lamps, and incense. The aim is to invoke God who is otherwise dormant. Offerings to Devi are strikingly different. Besides the standard offerings to God, there is always something more. Haldi, turmeric, kunku, red powder, kajal, kohl, and pieces of cloth to serve as her upper garment, the choli, blouse, the chunri, veil, and the chadar, shawl. The aim is to cover up the goddess so that she is less Kali and more Gauri. Why so? This makes sense if we associated the male form of divinity with the mind and the female form of divinity with nature. We want to invoke the mind as well as domesticate nature. Only invoking the mind without domesticating nature is the trait of Shiva, the withdrawn hermit. Only domesticating nature without invoking the mind is the trait of Brahma, who manifests as Daksha, the controlling priest. This tension between the mind and nature is a key theme of the Purans. And so, the preferred form of the goddess is Durga, riding her lion, defying domestication. Her unbound hair reveals that she is still wild like Kali, but her nose ring reveals she is domesticated like Gauri. The weapons in her multiple hands reveal a different kind of violence, one that is restrained, unlike Kali's, one that offers protection, but can also be used to punish. She is Brahma's defined daughter, Vishnu's protected and protective sister, and Shiva's affectionate wife. Her affection cannot be taken for granted. She will not be exploited. Domestication of the goddess, nature, must be mirrored with the awakening of God, mind. From the southern tip of India comes a very interesting tale that challenges the very idea of domestication in order to establish culture. A young girl, Kanya Kumari, meaning one who is a virgin, invokes Shiva and expresses her desire to be his wife. Shiva agrees, but the Devas are not pleased with this news. As long as Kanya Kumari is without husband and children, she has the power to kill demons. Her power, unused in marriage and motherhood, will also prevent the sea from overwhelming the land. So they go out of their way to disrupt this wedding. They tell Kanya Kumari that to ensure the marriage is a happy one, she has to marry at sunrise the following day. But Shiva lives far away in the north on Mount Kailas. He must be asked to set forth immediately and travel through the night. Shiva agrees to travel fast, eager to meet his bride, while Kanya Kumari spends the night preparing the wedding feast, adorning herself with cosmetics and jewelry. In the middle of the night, the Devas take the form of roosters and start to crow. Shiva thinks the sun is about to rise and that he will not make it to the wedding on time. So he turns around, disappointed. When the sun really does rise, there is no sign of Shiva. A heartbroken Kanya Kumari breaks all the pots containing the wedding feast. The pulses and grains turn into the colorful sand that one finds near the southern tip of India. She washes away her cosmetics in the sea. That is why the sea is multicolored there. She stands on the southern tip, killing demons, preventing the sea from overwhelming the land and, like a divine beacon, enabling fishermen to battle tempestuous seas and come home safe to their wives. This story displays an ambiguous relationship with domestication. At one level, we want God to be domesticated. He must be householder, not a hermit. And at another level, we do not want the goddess to be completely domesticated. She must stay forest, not become field. Typically, cultures use rules and laws, niti, and traditional codes of conduct, riti, to stifle freedom for the larger good. But this can destroy creativity and innovation and even introspection. It can amplify our sense of entrapment. So it is important to retain the wildness of nature, which offers the promise of freedom. This is why in the Shiva Puran and in the Devi Puran, The Devas often prevent Parvati from bearing Shiva's child herself. They would rather that Shiva's seed be germinated in multiple wombs. Parvati, or Gauri, is not mother in the conventional sense of the term. She is foster mother of Kartikeya, and she creates Ganesha using the paste with which she anoints her body. Neither is born through her womb. This may not make literal sense, but it makes a whole lot of symbolic sense. This rejection of complete domestication is symbolically communicated through the unbound hair of Durga. Traditionally, well-combed and bound hair indicates domestication. But Durga, dressed in bridal finery, sports unbound hair. She thus stands on the edge between nature and culture, acknowledging our fear of lawless freedom as well as lawful entrapment. In the last 500 years, a deliberate attempt has been made in Hinduism to humanize the divine. God is not a lofty concept out there. It is immediate and accessible. And Goddess is not all nature. She is the village that sustains a human population. These ideas were not new. Grama Devis or village goddesses are perhaps the oldest form of religion known in India, predating Buddha, even the Vedas, and the Indus Valley cities. She was identified with termite hills and snake holes and rock clefts, for she emerged from beneath the earth, the seat of all fertility. But 500 years ago, the relationship became extremely intimate and personal. It was articulated using a very emotional vocabulary in songs and ritual ceremonies. As God increasingly became parent, child, master, friend, even lover, the goddess became a member of the family. This came to be known as the Bhakti phase of Hinduism, where simple human emotions were made portals to reach the divine. In keeping with this trend, in eastern India, in Bengal, Assam and Orissa, we find the goddess, who is normally addressed as mother, being treated as the daughter of the village. Every year, during the autumn months, she returns from her husband's house in the form of Durga for a few days of rest in the comforting arms of her mother, the village community. Thus, the mother of the village transforms into the daughter and is indulged accordingly. She comes with her children, 2 sons, the strong Kartikeya and the smart Ganesha, and her 2 daughters, the rich Lakshmi and the talented Saraswati. She complains that her husband Shiva does not work and she is left to provide for the family. Her mother empathizes with her, but reminds her that she chose the man she married. No one forced her to marry a hermit who wanders with dogs and ghosts, lives in crematoriums, and loves narcotics. She is bathed and clothed and fed and entertained with songs and dances. And finally, she is bid farewell, cast into the river, where her image dissolves as she makes her way back to her husband's house in faraway, snow-capped Mount Kailas. This happens year after year. She comes and she goes. They weep in joy on her arrival and weep in sorrow at her departure. Thus, the cyclical nature of the world is reinforced to the village community. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing ends forever. Everything comes back. Everything goes back. It grants solace and hope to the villagers who are facing sorrow. It also warns those who are enjoying fortune not to take things for granted. What strikes the eye when one closely observes the traditional image of Durga in Bengal is her turmeric yellow skin. She is therefore called Haldi Mukhi, she of the turmeric face. Haldi, or turmeric, is an essential feature of goddess worship. It is both an antiseptic and a cosmetic that keeps the skin clean and makes it glow like gold. In the temple of Krishna in Puri, Orissa, there is another Haldi Mukhi, the goddess Subhadra, Krishna's sister, standing between him and his elder brother, Balabhadra. The similar complexion of Durga and Subhadra reminds us of temple lore that Devi, who is Shiva's wife, is also Vishnu's sister. In his various avatars, Vishnu keeps fighting for his sister. In one of the folk Mahabharatas is the story of a warrior who saw the entire war at Kurukshetra from the top of a mountain. He had been decapitated before the war, but Krishna had kept his head alive so that his last wish of witnessing the war could be fulfilled. When asked what he saw, he declared he only saw Krishna's discus cutting the head of unrighteous kings and Kali drinking their blood by spreading her tongue over the battlefield. Simultaneously, this sister protected the world from Madhu and Ketab when Vishnu was in dreamless slumber. It was she who offered herself as sacrifice to save baby Krishna from the murderous Kansa. It was she who ensured Shiva no longer shuts his eyes to the world, that he fathered Kartikeya and Ganesha, who protect and provide culture. And when an Asura emerges, whom neither Indra, nor Vishnu, nor Shiva can defeat, it is she who is once again invoked. Thus in the Devi Mahatmya, when Indra begs Brahma for help and Brahma takes him to Vishnu and Vishnu takes him to Shiva, Shiva advises all the Devas to release the goddess from within their bodies and merge it to create a goddess who is greater than all of them individually. Flames emerge from the body of each and every Deva, and these flames merge in a blinding light to create Durga, who is given weapons by each Deva, and who then rides a lion to do battle with an Asura. Durga thus is the jigsaw puzzle whose parts come from the different Devas. They are parts, and she is the whole. She is not the daughter of one Deva. She is the daughter of all Devas. She is a Yonija, born without a womb, with no mother of her own. This establishes her as Mahadevi, the goddess of the gods, just as Shiva is Mahadeva, god of the gods. Thus the Purans acknowledge her sovereignty. She is, like Shiva and Vishnu, Swayambhu, or self-created. Chapter 4. Durga's Secret. Everyone lives on the edge in fear. Part 2.
Chapter 4. Shiva's Secret. Withdrawal leads to destruction. Part 1.